Hi guys, we are back and we are today gonna continue with behavior modification, some of the therapeutic techniques. We have seen some techniques under exposure therapies that are very good in treating several phobias including PTSD, and please, we should understand that it is not limited to that, right? So we should have that in mind, and then we should also consider this time some others that are following these operant conditioning principles like positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, all of those things. So we see many of them. We have token economy, Premack principle, and others. And please, we should remember that the ones we did under exposure therapies are not limited only to classical conditioning. There are other principles that are involved in it, like I said, social learning or social cognitive learning or theory or skills. So in these operant conditioning also, or in this behavior modification, we should know that there are others we'll be talking about, both assertiveness, if need be. We'll talk about covert sensitization, aversive therapy. For example, aversive therapy also uses the principle of classical conditioning, right? Then, but let's try to touch that of token economy and Premack principle. Premack principle is very simple. I want to start with that. So Premack principle was propounded by David Premack. Premack, P-R-E-M-A-C-K, right? So David Premack in 1959 propounded what he called the Premack principles. That is a technique in behavior modification that uses the principle of positive reinforcement. We should remember, with the assumption of the classical conditioning replacing and trying to replace anxiety and relaxation, those are for phobias, right? Now, in this place, we are talking about negative behaviors or positive behaviors, or we use the word desired behavior and undesired behavior. And here we talk about shaping, modifying behavior to shape it to what you want. You know, in psychology, we define shaping as, what is the definition? Rewarding successive approximation of desired behavior. Yes, rewarding successive approximation of desired behavior. I hope I'm putting that right. That is the definition of shaping. So we are trying to use this principle to shape a behavior, to modify a behavior, to encourage the one you want and discourage the one you don't want. And if you remember positive reinforcement or operant conditioning, they believe that the behavior precedes the consequences, unlike in classical conditioning where the behavior and the consequences come together, or even the consequences precede the behavior oftentimes, because in classical conditioning you have to see the consequences and you don't even know you are responding, running away immediately or conditioning to it, right? But in operant, you act, you are an active actor, or the organism is very active in the behavior or in the process, right? So you understand that if you are rewarded, you're happy, you do it again. If it comes out with negative outcome, that is punishment, you will run away, right? That's why we use some of this. Now, positive reinforcement, we're talking about David Premack. So the key word here is looking at the target behavior. What is the target behavior that you want? For example, in the classroom, in education, in the house, in family, in teaching children and everything. Your child doesn't like to wash his or her clothes, he doesn't like to wash plates, he doesn't like doing assignment. How are you going to change these behaviors? How are you going to encourage the child? Most times, We have understood that in psychology we don't believe in positive punishment, that is corporal punishment, flogging the child or anything, right? What do? We go through any other reinforcement style, even that positive reinforcement, or positive punishment like timeout and everything. Timeout is one of the also another one we may need to discuss with time. Now, Premack principle have seen a target behavior. For example, the target behavior is to encourage doing assignment, right? To doing assignment, that is a target behavior. To be encouraged, the desire, is a desired behavior. Now, what are then the thing you have to add to encourage that behavior, right? Now, Premack principle brings up what we call the HPB and LPB. HPB and LPB, right? HPB means higher probable behavior, and LPB means lower probable behavior. So, according to David Premack, higher probable behaviors are those behaviors that have high chance of the child engaging in it. Example, playing game, watching television, playing with friends, all those fun things, eating snack, all of those things are higher probable behaviors. On the other hand, lower probable behaviors are the behaviors that have lower chance that the child will engage in it. Example, doing assignments, sweeping his or her room, washing plates, yeah. These are the things that the child doesn't like doing on a normal, right? Yeah, so what do Premack principle do with these two types of behavior? What do we do? What do we do here now? We make them contingent on each other. The key word, making them contingent on each other, dependent on each other. Yes. So what does this mean? It means that you tell the child, when you engage in those LPBs, you will be allowed to engage in the HPBs. You do assignment, I'll allow you to play your game. You do your assignment, I would like to watch your favorite TV series or program, right? You do your assignment, I'll give you your treat or anything, right? This Premack using positive reinforcement techniques. So you notice that the behavior have a consequence, has a reward, has a reinforcement. So the child will be encouraged, Mommy, I'm done with my assignment. Okay, Dad, I'm done with my homework, right? Now, you see, you reinforce the child with that HPB. Okay, you can take your time with your games, right? Now, this will continue until, and this is done intermittently, not every time the child does the same behavior. So what do we do here? It is continued until the child learns that desired behavior to do his assignment, because he has seen that these are the kind of behaviors that come with rewards. Oh, I think my parents are happy and well in good time when they see I'm doing the right thing, or when they see I'm doing these things, right? That is it. They often will learn that behavior. When a lecturer rewards you for answering a question in a class, there's a high tendency you will engage in that behavior again. You will engage in reading better to come to class to discuss it, right? So, in summary, this is how Premack principle works. Now, let me also talk about token economy. Token economy, as we know, is by B.F. Skinner. B.F. Skinner introduced token economy. And what is a token? Here we should first understand that we talk about reinforcement types. We have secondary reinforcers and primary reinforcers. Primary reinforcers, as we know, are those reinforcers that naturally have reinforcement
tendencies. They, on a natural level, could reinforce you. They have these natural benefits. We have like food, like praises, that's emotionally, like others, yes. So all of those things. But secondary reinforcers are those reinforcers that naturally do not have their own reinforcement tendencies or potentials in them. Anyways, please, we should remember to like and share, and please would expect you subscribe also. I would continue from where we stopped. In our next video, we'll talk about token economy. We will dissect it very well. Thank you for viewing.